Welcome to the show where we talk all things weightlifting. I'm your host, Seb Ostrovich, aka the voice of the people, and this is the Weightlifting House podcast. Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of the Weightlifting House podcast with your host, Seb Ostrovich, the voice of the people. Joined, of course, by the people's head of product. It's Nick Grew. And speaking of product, Nick, and we're going to get straight on with the episode, but it's worth mentioning the Karlos Nasar clothing capsule is now out. So that's a pair of leggings, shorts, t-shirt. So if you want to look like the man himself, the man of... Well, he's more than the man of the hour at the moment, isn't he? He's certainly the man of the quad, and he might turn into being the man of the decade. Then just head to the link down below, and you can check out that stuff, as well as his collaborative training accessories, which we worked in conjunction with him on. Before we start, I have one small favour to ask, and no, it's not to rate the podcast, though that genuinely does help. It's to tell your teammates, your fellow weightlifters, about the podcast. That way you can actually have some decent chats with them during training, because they're going to know as much as you. Or maybe perhaps you actually don't want them to know. You want to be the only one with the good info. I don't know. But no, please do tell your teammates, and of course do make sure to give the podcast a quick 5-star rating if you have a spare second. On to the show. Nick, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I feel alright. I've just had I'm nursing a
large monster.
A monster, zero sugar.
Is that a large one? Probably not in the US.
I don't know how they have it in the US. I mean, in the UK it's 500 ml, which feels
a lot of liquid.
Feels pretty large.
Yeah,
doesn't it? It feels pretty big. So we want to talk about, we basically want to make a bit of a prediction with what do we think Karlos Nasar is going to hit at the World Championships, and maybe also what we think he can hit in his career. I guess we'll go on to that. I'm guessing you've written down a bit of a prediction.
Yeah.
I've done the same, but shall I just run through his best numbers from his 3 categories so far that we've seen?
Sounds good.
Okay, so Karlos Nasar, Olympic champion from Bulgaria, the number 1 weightlifter in the world right now, the most popular weightlifter in the world as well, I would say. So as an under 81 kilo lifter, this is 2021, he might have just turned 17, or he could have been 16 in Thailand. Sorry, not Thailand, Uzbekistan.
17, I think it was.
He's 17, yeah. He snatched 166. He clean and jerked 208 for a world record clean and jerk ahead of Liu Xiaojun's clean and jerk world record, totaled 374. Then moving up to the 89s, about a 10% increase in body weight. He snatched 183, which is a world record. He clean and jerked 224, world record. He totaled 405. That's a world record. And then moving up to the 96s, but he weighed 93 point something, so we're going to put him in the 94 kilo class, which is his new category. He snatched 188, and he clean and jerked 229, and he totaled 417. And the only time you showed any response to any of those numbers, when I said the 188, you shook your head in disbelief.
It was silly. I really didn't expect that so early in the quad. I thought maybe he'd get there in like
3
closer
years.
to LA.
Yeah.
But as soon as he loaded it, I couldn't believe he hit that in Moldova. I really didn't expect it.
We haven't had anybody close to snatching that sort of weight since Lesman did it, really.
Yeah.
Did we? At the same Worlds that Karlos was still in 81.
17, yeah.
And, 2 weight classes later, a whole Olympic quad later, and he loaded it. And with someone like Lesman, you just looked at him and you thought, well, you're built just to snatch.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you're a good clean and jerker, but you're built to snatch. You're the snatch specialist that comes around every 5 or so years in the world. And so for Karlos, who was previously thought of as a clean and jerk specialist, to hit the 188 was amazing.
You can't see him as a clean and jerk specialist anymore, can you?
You can't, no. I mean, he's hitting as many
world records in the...
He's hit, 3 snatch world records now? 2 in the 89s, 1 in the 96s, and then, of course, this new 94 kilo category, he's going to set multiple. So I've got a bunch of things written down. Do you want to go straight into predictions, or do you want me to talk about some of the biggest snatch, clean, jerks and totals that we've seen from the nearby weight categories over the last 30 years, for context.
Maybe we should do predictions first and then...
Initial prediction.
Yeah.
So worth saying then that the new world standards in this 94 kilo class are 181, 221, 396. He snatched more than that as an 89. He clean and jerked more than that as an 89. And he totaled significantly more than that as an 89. So there's no doubt that the world records are going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just by how much. And also, does he go 6 for 6?
Yeah. I mean, we always presume a lifter's going to go 6 for 6 when we're making predictions, which is often a flaw in...
I see, I haven't.
I've
I've predicted a miss, yeah.
So I think...
Just because it's too good to be true. But every time he competes, it's too good. You can't believe he's done it again. Yeah. You think he's reached the top of the mountain, but he never has.
I'm predicting...
Okay.
Second attempts for world records as a stepping stone to bigger attempts in the third attempt. So I think a 182 and a 222 on his second attempts.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
Which makes sense because he did 180 and 220 as his second attempts in Moldova.
Yeah.
So bumping those by 2 kilos at a slightly heavier body weight, I think makes sense. And then I think he's going to attempt he's not going to try 190, is he?
Well, this is your prediction. You can't ask me.
I don't think he'll make the snatch third attempt.
Okay.
And I think that will either be 189 or 190.
Okay.
And then I think he'll do 230 and he'll make it.
So what? Give me your two numbers that he's going to hit.
It will be 182, 230.
What have I written down there?
182, 230. There you go.
That's what I thought as well.
Right, let's finish the podcast there. Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. You heard it here first. 182, 230. I had the same thought, which was only basically like he'll hit the 182 second attempt snatch. He'll open his 175 or something like that. Then 182. And then my assumption was that he would jump to 189.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, though. It's like I wouldn't have said he would make 188.
Yeah, for sure. So maybe he will.
I mean, he is also in a period of his career now where he you can't necessarily guarantee he's going to improve comp to comp. And yet he literally has.
No, and he might also be looking at LA sort of having a bit of time off at the moment, easing back into it, and then he ramps up again, but I don't know if he's
But he didn't do that in Bahrain.
No.
He didn't do that in Moldova. I don't think he's that sort of guy.
No, he's not, is he?
So, yeah, I think if he goes 6 for 6,
he's going...
it'll be 189, 230.
Yeah.
Which would be a 419 total. Yeah. Which, when you put it like that, I mean, it's only 2 kilos more than he's done before.
That 188 was the lowest he's either sunk or caught anything.
Yeah, it was.
And it looks like do you think he's snatched more than that in training?
He says, well, actually, now we're at the weight that is beyond what he said he'd done. Yeah, so actually, I should check and ask, but I wouldn't be surprised if he'd never snatched more than that from the floor. Because
we know he's clean 230.
Yeah,
multiple times in training. So,
I mean, he says he's done 235 clean and jerk.
Yeah, was that pre the Achilles injury as well?
Yeah, pre Achilles. Yeah, so as an 89, but yeah, I mean,
I think his build up to Moldova was interesting. It was quite different to what we saw in, say, Thailand, for example. And going back further, Bulgaria, where he's coming in doing double days, hitting more than... So he in Moldova, he didn't do any double days. The heaviest session he did was 3 days before, and that was 174, 210, which were his exact openers.
Yeah.
So sort of
he's giving us some...
typical of what you'd see from 80% of other lifters.
Yeah.
Compare that to Thailand, where he came in and did 180 and then a 220 power clean and power jerk.
I mean, I would say the most erratic he's been was Sophia.
Yeah, when he was coming in.
Yeah. He's coming in twice a day and going heavy both times.
And lots of volume.
And he did that 173 snatch 2 days out.
Yeah.
In his second session.
Yeah.
Of the day, yeah.
So he is changing his style of peaking and training in general. So that's interesting, I think. And
So,
he weighed 93.35 at Moldova as well, and that was presumably without any cut.
Yeah.
So he can
go up to 96-ish and then just make a simple cut. I mean, assuming he goes 6 for 6, which he has done for quite a while now.
Didn't in Bahrain, did he?
Okay, he didn't Bahrain. He missed his third clean and jerk, but he made
He's
it.
going
He just ran
5
off
for
the
6,
platform, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then he made 6 in. Did he make 6 in? Yeah, in Paris.
Yeah.
So if he does that, it's going to be a 189, 230.
Yeah.
And then we'll go through some of the all-time biggest lifts, and we'll go through. I've got some information. I was talking to his sort of coach, manager, friend, Atanas Litkov. He's sent me some information to run through as well about his training at the moment. But I have another question then, which is, what do you actually think he'll do in his career in terms of what the most we will see from him are?
So I feel like he is going to continue to... We're going to see him at maybe like 96, 97 kilos in body weight at some point, I think, lifting.
As a 110?
Yeah.
Just not bothering to cut?
Yeah,
sort of
I feel
thing.
like, yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether that be before LA or after.
You think he would go for world records there?
I think he could, yeah.
So what would he need? I think, off the top of my head, the new standards in the 110 class are 195, 237. They are, 195, 237. So to break them there, it would have to be 196, 238.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he'll ever do those
He'd have
numbers.
to come up further than mid-90s in body weight for that.
Yeah. I think the most we'll ever see from him, and this is if everything goes well, 192.
Yeah.
234. And I say 234 only because 233 is a number that, like, we saw Ilya hit 233, we saw Sarab hit 233, both of them at 94.
You think he'd go above that purposefully?
Yeah, and we're back at that weight class, and they're the two best clean and jerkers in that category for 20 years. So I think he would say, okay, I need to do 234. So I think 192, 234 would be his
Can we pull up his clean from Moldova? I just want to see how...
Yeah, I actually have got it right here because I'm getting some videos ready for the British champs.
This would have come out after us.
This might come out next week. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But yeah, we're going to be at Weightlifting House will have a stand at the British champs. I'm not sure I'll be there. Nick certainly will.
Yeah.
With the rest of the team. So getting some videos ready for the screen that we have there. Okay, help me find it. What am I looking for? I think it's in here. Here we go. So this is going on Instagram now. Here's a snatch, 188. See, it doesn't look anywhere near as difficult when you rewatch it. In person, that was the slowest pull
He's
I've
very
ever
low
seen.
there, though.
He's low, but he doesn't even fight.
No,
We saw him fight for the 183, didn't we?
I mean, his legs are a lot stronger now he's come up.
Yeah. Here's the clean and jerk. And did he... Yeah, he did take 3 attempts in the clean and jerk. I mean, that clean and jerk's ridiculous. One more time. One more time.
I think maybe
He might be able
go
to
a
do
little
more.
higher in the clean and jerk.
Yeah, I mean, we need to add 5 kilos to that 229, basically. So 235 is a pretty historic lift. It's the heaviest lift as a 90-kilo weightlifter, which is ridiculous. But it's a different era, and there were hugely different standards in drug testing. So comparing 80s weightlifting to the modern day weightlifting is not really fair. You know, you can't really make the claim that weightlifters have just gotten worse over the last 40 years. Clearly, the weightlifters themselves are not of a lower quality necessarily, and we know even more about training.
Yeah.
So it's not that. It has to be a testing thing, we would assume. Weightlifting House training apparel doesn't just look great, it feels amazing too. With a 4.8-star rating across thousands of orders, our clothing is loved by lifters around the world. Every piece is designed from scratch using premium technical fabrics, lifter-friendly seams, and obsessive attention to detail, which is probably why we've collaborated with Olympic champions like Lasha Talakadze and Karlos Nasar. Every item has a story. Experience the quality yourself at weightliftinghouse.com. Click the link in our bio or visit the site to get your next piece of weightlifting apparel. Okay, so shall I go through some of the big lifts then?
Yeah.
Just so we can sort of see like historically where he can fit in.
Mm-hmm.
So the heaviest ever lifts in the 94 kilo category were 189 Sarab Muradi, and he beat Kaki's 188 when he did that.
So he's close to that.
Yeah, he's only a kilo off that now. 233 Sarab Muradi.
Hang on, would Carlos want to beat that then?
Yeah, at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, 190, yeah. And then 417 was the total, which Carlos has already equaled.
Yeah.
Then back in the 90s, there was this 5-year period in between the fall of the Soviet Union and then the categories that some of you will know quite well, the sort of 1998 to 2018 categories. There was a 5-year period where we had new weight categories again, probably the least known categories. There was a 91 kilo class, and Alexei Petrov, the Russian, hit a snatch of 187.5, and then clean and jerked, Kaki clean and jerked 228.5, so a 412.5 total. So he's a little bit heavier than that, and we expect him to lift a few kilos more than those each.
Yeah, it's kind of mad. He's mad that he's right around these.
He's right around those. Yeah.
10, 20 years ago.
But then the numbers that he just doesn't stack up with, and I don't think he will, are the sort of the old school classes from 1973 until 1992. And worth remembering as well, just having weight classes for that long a period, 20 years, means that athletes have longer to build into the right weight categories and compete against one another to push world records higher. But in the 90 kilo class, we had Blagoy Blagoev, the Bulgarian. He snatched 195.5. That's the greatest snatch ever by Sinclair.
Was he in Sofia at the Europeans? Yeah.
I've got a little photo of him. Yeah, so that snatch, 195.5 at 90. I mean, Carlos would need to snatch 200 at 94, realistically, to be comparable, and that's just not possible.
No.
And then the clean and jerk, 235 at 90. And a few athletes did that. So Kripati holds a world record for the Soviet Union, but Viktor Solodov did it, and Kaki did it. So 3 athletes, I believe, have clean and jerk 235 at 90. But in the modern era, 233 seems to be the barrier. And there was a great battle between Sarab and Tian Tao. You might have been not quite involved in weightlifting at that point. I think it was 2018, Ashgabat. And they cleaned sort of 238. I think one of them did 237, one did 238, or it was 238 and 239. They both missed a jerk.
Yeah.
But to see cleans of that sort of weight at 90, I think it was 96, that was pretty crazy. But they didn't make the jerk. So historically, Carlos is up there.
Yeah.
Basically.
Is he the only current lifter that's up there? I guess Ruslan with his...
What, with historic numbers?
No, I guess how far are we going to go back?
I mean, historically, Ruslan did, 242?
In the last 20 years, maybe.
At 109. In the last 20, yeah. I mean, 246 at 105 is kind of like the best of the last few decades. That was Ilya. That was pretty epic. That was sick, actually. That was in... where was it? Grozny, yeah. The President's Cup 2015. That was unreal. Ilya's 246 was sick. So, I mean, Ruslan is a little bit off there because he weighs more and he's lifting less. There's nobody else really who's going to be pushing those numbers. I mean, the 79 kilo category is similar to the 77s.
Yeah.
And in 2001, Oleg Perepechenov hit 210. So and then everyone tried to beat that.
Yeah.
And eventually, Rahimov did, but that got disqualified. So 210 at 77. I imagine a comparable would be about 213, 214.
I think we said 212 was
212. Yeah, I mean 212. I think we're going to be very comparable with that bunch of 79s,
but not the snatch.
No, 177 Liu Xiaojun is such an overpowered snatch. It's ridiculous. But yeah, that's probably it on the men's side, to be honest. Shall I run through some of the things then that we got back from the Bulgarian team? So I asked Litkov what was going on with Karlos at the moment. Is he training? Is he lifting anything? And he said he's not lifting much at the moment. We're starting a training camp between the 10th and the 15th of July in the brand new weightlifting gym that's been made specifically for Karlos, which is cool. I don't know where that is.
Yeah, I was going to say, where is that?
I'll try and find that. It's probably in Sofia.
Yeah.
Although maybe not. Maybe, I mean, I know that Karlos likes to get out of Sofia. He can't train there because he's too popular and just constantly being pulled in to do events in the evenings and dinners and that sort of thing. So I think it might be out in the mountains. The first camp will be a conditioning training plus physiotherapy sessions because he's got a problem from the European champs with his right shoulder after he threw, quote, a joyous air hook.
Is that still a problem?
Yeah.
I presume that was a...
No, that's still a problem. So that was after the 229. He threw a right hook in joy of the world record total and hurt his shoulder, and that's still causing him problems. And that was 2.5 months ago?
Yeah.
So he's got to figure that out. I assume that's not going to take too long to sort once they really go for it. And then if everything goes well, then they're going to go to Varna and start the real weightlifting training. We've been invited out to Varna to go and record podcasts with Karlos. Not quite sure how that would work because his podcasting in English isn't great, but you never know. And then he said that right now they're just doing some minimal training just to maintain technique and minimal levels of strength, but they're just sunbathing on the beach in Greece at the moment.
Very nice.
Very nice. And then another thing I asked was, does Karlos get paid for every world record he sets by the government?
Yeah, I guess no, from the Bulgarian government.
Yeah. So the federation, I assumed maybe there was a chance, even though I know they're not very good at paying him. Because I thought if that's the case, then he might use these low world standards to his advantage and just break them by a kilo each every time, which would be a shame for us, but would help him make money. And they said no, there's no payment for setting world records like that. So
maybe some big world records incoming then.
Yeah, so maybe he'll just go for it rather than doing the 1 kilo world records. I mean, there was a time when Karlos... Oh, I'll leave that for another podcast. It's going to get too much to get into it. So yeah, that's the Karlos stuff. Should we talk about the clothing then?
Yeah.
The capsule?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, well, you're head of product. Let's go from the start. How did we even, years ago, decide that we wanted to work with Karlos? I'm struggling to remember. Did he reach out to us?
No, so I was making some custom sleeves for him anyway.
Why?
Just to...
Well, did we just decide we wanted to? Okay.
And then I spoke with Litkov, his manager, about the possibility of us doing a collab range for the knee sleeves. And then
it was just knee sleeves originally, wasn't it?
And then we decided that we should look into other accessories like the leather belt, which before then we hadn't been able to get Karlos in our current leather belt. Yeah,
he'd worn it from time to time, but he always went back to that boxing, like that
old
brown.
Remember what the brand is. Looked at leather belts, then looked at the wrist wraps that he wears. Mm-hmm. He was already using our straps quite often, so that was simple.
Yeah.
And then we worked on a concept based around the tattoo that he has, which says it's a playing card and it says
you lose.
You lose.
Yeah.
So that isn't quite enough to work with. So then we fleshed it out a bit with the I win, you lose.
Yeah. Which it doesn't actually say anywhere on him and is a saying that only exists from us putting it on things. But it's become a bit of a like a not a logo, but a bit of a saying now.
Yeah.
Around Karlos.
Which is cool that we've coined that.
Yeah, I win, you lose. Yeah.
Yeah, so then working on the accessories, built that range out, which is obviously all now live. That was earlier this year.
And we might be adding into that.
Yeah, so...
Do we want to say?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, we might be bringing out some 1.5 mil Karlos Nasar sleeves, because I think we can say, because if anything, it just makes it more authentic. Since he's gained body weight, his leg strength is no longer a limiting factor.
He's not having any issues with knee pain or anything.
No. So before, at 89, he wanted extra strength, and you can actually see it in his heavy cleans. Like, they do slow down quite a lot when he was in 89. He wanted some sleeves that would help him stand up the heavy weights quicker. And so that's what we made, and that's what he used. But now that he's gone up, he actually, like, he didn't wear our sleeves in Moldova.
Yeah.
And so, but he wore everything else. So we were like, why were you wearing the singlet, wraps, belt, and not the sleeves? And he said, I just feel too strong for them. But he still wants some, so now he's asked us to do a sort of a thinner 1.5 style, almost like Chinese style, which we've now designed, right?
Yeah.
Sort of black and green.
I've just sent a sample to him to okay, and then we might see that in a few months' time.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. And then for the whole time we were doing the accessories, they were constantly asking, can we do leggings? Can we do shorts?
It was always leggings as the main one, wasn't it? Yeah.
And we were a bit wary of doing that. Obviously, it's bigger orders with clothing, and we hadn't done an athlete collab before then.
We'd actually signed the deal with Lasher before. Yeah, but we just hadn't launched anything yet.
So we wanted, I think first we wanted to see how that went. We wanted to see how the Karlos accessories did. And then when we saw that both of those did well, we were happy enough to move forward with that and add the t-shirt, leggings and shorts to the I Win You Lose concept and capsule. Yeah.
And I think once, when I went out to him in Bulgaria with Nate, and we stayed with him for a week, we gave him loads of the 90s stuff, which he then collaborated with us on. And I think he liked it all so much that he was kind of like, I definitely want to do the clothes with you guys now. Because for anyone who's tried them, I mean, the unbelievable leggings are actually unbelievable. Named after unbelievable Bulgarians, which kind of fit for him as well. And then the Sophia tees are extremely nice. And they're kind of his style, because they were a little bit oversized, which I think when you're an extremely jacked person is even more flattering in some ways, because it's like you're not trying to show off, but it's like what do you call it in the design world, the silhouette of the piece, sort of like it drops off your chest and your traps and your lats, and it makes you look
even bigger,
but the new stuff, the t-shirts aren't like that. They're much more like, for those of you who had the Lasher 492
it's
t-shirts,
more of a regular fit.
It's slightly thinner material,
really soft, the Lasher
extremely soft, more stretchy, more trainable, to be honest.
Like more breathable,
the Sophias just look sick, and
they're
they feel
more of a
nice.
Winter training t-shirt than anything.
And I wear them if I go out, not training wise.
Out.
No, well, I don't go out anymore. You know what I mean? But if I want to look nice, I'll wear one of them.
Yeah.
Not always, sometimes I like to not wear weightlifting out. But if I was training, I'm not actually, if I'm training, then I'm 100%
I just feel like they're almost too nice to train in.
Yeah, that's I didn't want to say it. I stopped myself saying I actually haven't trained in the Sphere, but I haven't.
Yeah.
Because
I have, but
I don't want to.
I don't want to.
I don't want to sweat into them, even though I've got like 5 of them and I can just get more. I just don't want to. Whereas the Lasher t-shirts, I've trained in loads.
Yeah.
And the Karlos t-shirt, once I have one, then I'll train it loads as well. So, but they look sick, and it's got it's got like a silhouette of him in the bottom of a clean on the back.
The t-shirt,
with a t-shirt with the I Win You Lose. How's the printing done on the leggings? Because you've got like the graphics.
Yeah.
What's that printed in?
DTG, direct to garment print, that for the playing card.
Yeah.
And then we've got some like stitching that follows the line around the quads.
Yeah. The seams.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm learning.
Here he is.
Yeah. It looks, it does look sick. It looks really good.
He wore it in Moldova in training, so if you want to have a little sneak peek of that. But
Yeah,
it might be out at this point, mightn't it?
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, if you're listening to this, you can go get it all. And there's a good video of him on YouTube training in it all, so you can see how it actually looks, or just look at the pictures on the Instagram and the website. But I'm really interested to see how it does, because before we, back when we were just starting out in Weightlifting House, we did print-on-demand T-shirts.
Yeah.
And they weren't very good quality, realistically. No. They were just like, get a print, stick it on a T-shirt, and nothing about it was custom.
No.
And it was a nice way for followers to support us, basically. Get a T-shirt. And they were fine. I mean, they felt all right. But since we're actually now full-on designing absolutely everything, from the, working on the fabrics to the cuts to, to all of it, I'm interested to see... Well, here's what I'm saying. Back when we did it that way, our 2 best-selling T-shirts were athlete-related.
Current athletes, weren't they?
Yeah, like Lasher 500.
At their peak.
Yeah, and briefly we had a Shizyong WLHOUSE one. Both of them, for us at the time, they were very high volume sales.
Yeah.
Obviously now it wouldn't necessarily feel like that because we've grown so much. But they always did better than like the standard Weightlifting House T-shirt. So that's what I'm excited to see, is how does a Karlos specific T-shirt, the most popular weightlifter in the world, his T-shirt do compared to like a Saphir or a Podium?
I think it does well,
I reckon it does. I mean, right now we'll know. I say right now, like when people are listening to this, we're going to know how well it's done. I think it will do really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see it. It's going to be fun. What else are we going to talk about then? It's only been half an hour.
Yeah, that's quick.
All right, well, let's rack our brains. What have we got?
Was there any questions from last week?
I've got loads of hot takes, but we're going to do that for a separate episode. No, I mean, not really. There was somebody who sent in, I think Sammy was his name. Sorry, I'm pulling it up. He sent in a question, basically sort of like a concept that we should do. He said, I've got a question/suggestion for another podcast. You and Nick should each draft one lifter from each continent based on how you think they'll perform over the next quad and assign points for their placement in each competition. You could make a bet for it.
As in, like, we follow that over the next squad?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool idea, actually.
So we pick maybe we pick a squad of 10.
Yeah, male and female from each continent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
How many continents are there? 5? Pan America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Oceania. Yeah, 5. Yeah, so we could pick 10. But how does it work? Because, like...
Are we just going to pick 10 or we're going to have, like, a budget and then assign prices for each?
Because we could just pick people and be like...
It's a bit boring if we just pick, like, the best from each.
We pick the best from each. We could do that.
I think we have to...
Maybe we have to have a point system.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, I bought this person for 2 and he ended up winning 5.
Yeah.
Because he'd only ever placed 4th at a Europeans and he came 2nd at the Olympics or something. I think that would be a fun one.
Yeah, definitely. We could check in on it each quarter or something.
I would really like to do, and actually this fits for the brand quite well. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. I'd love to be able to do fantasy weightlifting.
Yeah, for sure.
It does fit the brand now better than it used to. Now that we do, I mean, obviously we would do it in a non-gambling way. Yeah. Because I think
it's the only way we could do it without. Yeah.
Yeah, there's probably loads of legal things you'd have to worry about, and also I wouldn't want to do it for that reason. I'd want to do it, well, partly to see how well I can do against everyone, even though everyone's going to, not everyone, a lot of people get their tips from the podcast anyway, but partly I think it makes weightlifting more fun when people are thinking about the sport in a sort of gamified way.
Keeps people engaged throughout the whole quad rather than just coming for the Olympics and not knowing
exactly.
who's who.
Yeah. How many people do you reckon we could get on that?
Free to use as well.
Yeah. I mean, I assume there are costs to running a fantasy app, but we can probably just foot that.
Yeah.
And then maybe we just say you have full access to it if you're on Weightlifting House TV or something. So then you can watch it and you can play.
Yeah, it's a nice addition to the TV.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it makes that even more exciting. I mean, we get a few thousand on it, I suppose.
Yeah. Although we might spend all of our working day changing our teams.
Yeah. I had that in, when would it have been? 2011 Rugby World Cup. I got into fantasy rugby so much, and I was setting my alarm for like 3 a.m. or 5 a.m. because I think it was in Australia.
Right. Oh,
So
yeah.
I was like, I had to wake up and see like what were the scores that had happened overnight. Then I'd have like a deadline window.
Yeah.
And I was actually unreal. I was so good at it, smashed it, but I've never really played it before or since in any other sport. Whereas you probably played it for football.
Yeah, it's good
Soccer.
for football for like Euros or Worlds. I tend to get slightly distracted for a whole Premier League season just because that's drawn out by like 9 months.
Yeah, that's the only problem with it.
But if it's for weightlifting, if it's not going
just
to
a
be
2-week
every
period,
weekend, is it? It's
no.
going to be, yeah.
And it should actually be a very simple concept. I think you basically you rank all of the athletes in each category based on, I mean, it doesn't even, if we just do it based on their best total from that class,
Yeah.
then it doesn't matter that it's people can slightly mismatch, because the whole idea is that if you know, you know. Like if you know someone's looking better and their last competition doesn't represent them, that's just good for you. So you just rank everybody. If you're the best in a category, you're 10. If you're 10th, you're 1 point. And everyone else below just stays at 1 point as well. And then there's 16 categories. So you get given 16 times 5, 80 points. And you got 80 points, go and buy whoever you want. And then everyone is ranked at the end. And you, rather than just picking all the obvious winners, because then you can only ever equal or lose your points.
Yeah.
You basically just pick underrated people. That would be sick. That would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that.
No.
I'm not even going to be around the office for the next few weeks.
No. Has Dan got that in him?
Can we build that in-house? No.
No.
Not.
Do you reckon there's loads of white?
We could easily do.
that?
We could easily do the back end, like coding of it. It would be making the visual aspect look good. I wouldn't want to do
it. Tough, I think.
In fact, I think I'd only want to do it if we could develop an app. Right? Or desktop. Maybe desktop's okay. But an app would be sick.
Yeah.
Especially if we had images of everyone.
Yeah. We wouldn't, but
we would have it. No, we wouldn't. We'd have images of almost everyone.
But I think that's almost part of the beauty of it. If the weightlifters that aren't as well known just haven't got images,
Haven't even got a
you're
picture.
picking some weightlifters without images,
You know that you're elite.
Yeah.
Yeah. If half of your team is made up from countries with a stan at the end, you know you've got some good knowledge. I think that'll be really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're hyped by that, let us know. Maybe we should do it. All right, are we going to wrap that up then? It's a short one. Shortest one we've done.
Yeah. It's about 40 minutes.
36.
No.
37. With a few little, head to weightliftinghouse.com for a 3 for 2 stuck in. I'll put one of those in. We can bump it up another minute. All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you all for tuning in. Actually, I'll tell you what I'll do is just remind you all of the Weightlifting House newsletter. Every single week on a Friday, we send out all of the biggest news from weightlifting from on or off the platform. This week, as of recording, we have an episode. We have an email going out where we will be talking about the new world standards. We have a response from USAW about the Matty Rogers article that we put out, which is quite an interesting one. I was actually kind of shocked about that. The CEO of USAW basically sent us a quote which was saying that lots of what Matty had said was wrong, and sent a response which included and basically started off by saying, over the years, we have spent over $500,000 on Matty Rogers. And they sent that to us for public.
Right.
And I just thought to myself, that seems like obviously it's all public information and you can work it out, but that is a very exposing piece of information to put out about one of your most decorated weightlifters ever. I didn't like it personally.
It's something you'd want to deal with internally, right?
Yeah, I would have thought they don't need to, because there's nothing about that. I don't think that it was really doing anything other than saying, look how much we support our athletes, rather than just addressing Matty's problem at the time, which was, because I'm injured, I can no longer get funding and I'm struggling and I've medalled at like 5 different worlds. So maybe we need to reconsider the funding situation. I don't know. But and then also the newsletter has lifts you need to see from the week that you might have missed. It's got a word from me, and then we always put in a single product like promotion thing, which I hope you don't mind. But we've got to make some sales somehow, haven't we? So yeah, go and check that out. I'll put a link to the newsletter down below as well. All right, that is going to be it then. So we appreciate you tuning in. We'll catch you all on another episode of the Weightlifting House podcast.